Okay, so I'm not sure how it's gonna look. We're just gonna roll with it. So it's my first seal of Strixhaven. I got a Lorehold pre-release pack, and I have one of each pre-release pack. I decided, well, I played this one in person with some friends, and I decided I'm gonna make a video for each one of the schools, and then possibly make off of all the sets I have plus the booster box. I might make a battle box off of this. Possibly like, I don't know, 200 cards or so for each school. But anyway, haven't decided that yet. I got to open the boxes first. Here's my the first sealed. So the deck itself worked kind of well. I went 1 and 2 at the pre-release, with a couple extra fun games afterwards, which I did better. But let's see. Let's look at what I got. So to start off with, somebody familiar. When I exile cards, gets counters. Hall Monitor, just for evasion. Tooth Throne Discovery. I had not played these originally. I put them in after game 2 or so, because I thought I had other things that were better. I was wrong. It's really good just to toss some cards early and help me use them later on, especially because a lot of the cards that remove things were 2 or 3 slot 3 drops. Also, good mid to late game. We had less lands. Study Break, perfect. Learn triggered twice most time because I did have some cards like the Scroll Wielder that played things a second time. Sparring Regimen wins games. I lost to one multiple times because my opponent just happened to have him in opening hand or in turn 4 or so. Heated Debate, 4 damage, happens twice usually. Really good. Exiling type creatures. Super great just because I had multiple of them. I would probably not be playing if I had one, but it's because I'm bad at the game. Probably is a good card. Again, playing them twice, really good. Okay, Pledge Mage. Not too great. Mostly just a body. The first strike's really good. The plus 1 plus 0 is pretty good. Just by himself, not too great. But I had things to play with him. Tome Shredder, awesome, especially because I had ways to just fill my graveyard. Pilgrim of Ages. Multiple games, I had ended up having no planes left because of this guy. Not sure why, only 1 copy, but I kept getting him in my opening hand or by turn 3. Okay, Radiant Scroll Wielder. So this is one of the cards that came up in my in the school pack of extra cards specifically about the school. Same with this Flame Painter. This is the promo card. So both of them, let me replay my instant sorceries from the graveyard. Now playing one a turn, really nice early and mid game, especially because I didn't need to pay a lot of mana for most of my spells in the first place. So turn 4, Squirrel Wielder. Then meant turn 3, I can expel again, or turn 3, discovery or something like that, and really started getting the ball rolling on how on the removal and everything and going further. Flame Painter, similar thing, to take an extra turn to turn on, but it did let me play quite a few things twice. Dueling Coach didn't come up very often. However, if I already had out Sparring Regimen, it did steamroll one of the games, so not too bad. Also with the Familiars, I did happen to play one game where I had 2 Familiars on the field, both Familiars, and Dueling Coach eventually, and it just a matter of time before they all died because my opponent was playing removal every turn. But it was a lot of choices for them to make to figure out which ones to go for first, or second or third. Because in that game I had 2 Stonebinders, I had Hall Monitor, and I had Dueling Coach. Comet Professor, another good card. Great combination with Sparring Regiment, or actually almost any of these creatures. Sparring Regiment, or also Tome Shredder, just because I could attack, use it, attack with the Vigilance, and it still uses ability. But really good. I wish I had more. And Semester's End, I did not get to use it very often, but in that game where I had multiple Stonebinders and Dueling Coach, I did use it during that, and it did really help. Ardent Death Speaker was really good to help me get more of the instant sorceries from the graveyard. I did not actually get to play it at all. I never did see it, but it was something to help further the game a little bit. Pigment Storms, all the time. Almost every game got it twice. At least once from the field, probably once from the graveyard every game. 2 Lorehold campuses. I had, it was like 8 and 7. Yeah, 8 plains, 7 mountains. Now sideboard. Not sure if I'm in frame. Pull it forward. So I had a handful of lesson cards. So for learn, I did have 2 study breaks for that, and it looks like that's all I really had. Sparring Regimen. But because I was able to get multiple times off of my Flame Painter and my Scroll Wielder, I was able to get most of my lessons. So almost every game, I would get Spirit Summoning first, because I was able to get Study Break pretty often early turns. So Spirit Summoning to get ahead. One or both would happen. Inkling Summoning, the few times my opponents had flyers, really will help slow down the game. And Direction Annihilation, so this card, I only used it a few times. It was always around turn 7 or 8, just because we were both kind of pulling for straws, trying to find something to play. And giving my opponent that 1x card didn't hurt too much, because we were both top decking at the same time at that point. And then Expanded Anatomy, it came out once, because I had already the Stonebinders Familiars on the field. Introduction of Prophecy I never played. It was still an option though. I had so many other things I was trying to play, like the tokens, that just never came out. And then rest of the sideboard. So I mentioned that I originally didn't have Thrilling Discovery in the deck. Well, I had 3 Fuming Effigies. Really good to do extra damage, especially when I already have my cards on the field to remove cards from the graveyard. I didn't actually play him though, except for once. It did okay, but it's like I didn't have an engine at that point. Explosive Welcome did not get played. I don't think I would have played it either, because even though it was nice to possibly play it from the graveyard, I just wanted to have things more consistent, like the study breaks, or expels or something like that. Divine Gambit, not a good card. Kind of okay and limited, but at that point, it was one of the cards I had in place of the Thrilling Discoveries, but never played it, never had it, and just figured Thrilling Discovery way better for that. And I had 3 Aegis Guardians. It wasn't going to happen. Okay cards, but I had enough other stuff that filled all those slots. I didn't want to put these in there. Now, as for the rest of the sealed pool, I did have some more cards. Now, I originally thought of going Mardu colors. Because I did have some cool stuff. So first off, in colors. Had Dragon's Approach, only 1. Didn't want to play it just for the extra damage if I can get rid of creatures instead. And for black, Promising Dux Mage, 2 Glow Blanks, Crush Disappointment, Knowledge Dissector, Spectre of the Fins, Essence Infusion, Eye Twitch, Duress, and Agonize and Remorse. So I did think about going Mardu. And that would have meant Duress, possibly Eye Twitch, Agonize and Remorse, and maybe the Go Blanks. Crush Disappointment was also a thought, one I thought about playing. Because these all kind of felt okay. Plus, on top of that, I did have some supplemental cards to help out. Campus Guide for Mana, Spell Satchel. Thought about using this even without black. It's just, I had other things I felt like I should be playing instead. Archivist, kind of okay, but it didn't fit the theme of the deck. Commons also for mana. Elwyn Shield Mage. That ward pay 3 life, excellent. 3 for flyer for 5. Not great necessarily, but limited, still pretty good. But that ward really would have helped it out. Closing statement. Destroy creatures could have been good. Silverquill Apprentice. That Magecraft would have been really cool with what I had. Ink Duelist, Lifelink Menace, and spells I cast that target creature cost 2 less to cast. Also would have been nice with all the 3 or 4 drops I had, especially because they would have been 1 or 2. Fracture, destroy target Planeswalker, and then 1 dual land for the black and white. So I thought about going Mardu, but then I would have had, if you look at this, I would have been really heavy early game on having black for the early mana. And I didn't feel like I would have had enough black of this stuff to have made that worth it. Because cutting things down, I probably would have gotten rid of, one, maybe both of the Go Blanks. I would have had to have these 2 drops and, these available. Maybe Disappointment out. So it would have been kind of like, maybe like that. But I just didn't want to have all that low-end black clogging up everything I had. Blue. Now in blue, Curate seemed kind of okay. Resculpt seemed good. Planning, multiple choice, definitely good. But there just wasn't a lot of synergy happening here with what I already had as far as my rares and mythics. Green felt kind of similar. Some decent cards. Just again, nothing really fit fully. Nothing that really would have moved the game in any direction. Now green black. Green black together, it seemed like it could have been kind of strong, but there was no full direction with where to go. Like these 3 commons, a 5/5 or 5 gains you life, okay. The 3/3 trap and lifelink, fine. Gain life, put a counter, fine. But I didn't have enough to make this consistent, I didn't feel like I could make this go anywhere, really. And then sack a creature. And then if I could find enough creatures to do all that. Blue-green. Had a land. Had a copy, which I didn't feel like I wanted to have, just because I had to have something to copy first. Drake was fine. Politician's also fine. Your Komodo's also fine, but this didn't, form an archetype, form enough to do anything. And lastly, blue-red. which again, not enough going on. The blue and the rest of the set and the rest of the pack didn't fit enough with red to do anything. I didn't feel like I'd make a supplementary color off of those, like blue, green, red. So anyway, I'm glad I stuck with what I did. Next, I'll open another set. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Probably whatever Mal wants to pick, and go from there.